All right, this is October 2nd, 2020, 10/2. I'm sitting here in the parking lot of the Grand Sierra. But anyway, I thought I'd just take a moment to make a video. I woke up early this morning and I took my dogs for a walk before the sun actually came up, so you could still see the stars. And in the eastern skies, you could see Venus blazing. It was in Leo, paired up with the king star Regulus. And in the western sky was Mars above the moon. But what it made me think of is the Venus prophecy. And at least for me, it started in 2012 when we had the Venus transit. And I did a series of videos on the Venus prophecy, and it's been so long since I did this, I don't even know exactly what I said, but that's kind of the point of it. Is in 2012 I was being moved by the Spirit in a very powerful way, and I ended up going into this church on the east side of San Jose, California. It was a Baptist church. I'd never even been there before, but the pastor, it turned out I knew him from like several years earlier, but it was Pastor John, and I ended up getting baptized there a second time at the age of 50 by John the Baptist, Pastor John. But when I first went into that church, I was being just pushed by the Spirit, and some amazing things kind of happened, which I have talked about in videos. But one thing that actually happened is I was sitting there in that church, and they were having their adult Bible study, and there was like 100 adults and the pastor, and I don't even know what the heck they were talking about, but the Spirit was telling me, "Hey, Ben, stand up and say this," and I did. I'd never done that in my life ever. But I stood up in front of this congregation and I said, "Hey man, the Venus transit just happened like a week ago, and it was a sign." And they're all looking at me, the pastor's looking at me, and they're all like, "What the heck is he talking about?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a sign, because Venus went from the right to the left across the face of the sun, so it's a transfer of power from the right hand to the left hand." And everybody eyes were wide open, and they were just looking and saying, "What does that mean?" And you know what, to be honest, I don't think I even knew what the heck that meant, but that's kind of what I said to them in a nutshell. But now we're 8 years down the road, and Venus has completed its cycle. It did it it was either the end of July or the beginning of August, the 8-year cycle where it makes a 5-pointed star in the heavens. And then, of course, there was the alignment this morning in Leo with Regulus, the king star, which a lot of people think was the formation when Jesus came 2,000 years ago, was Venus in Leo paired up with the king star. But, I actually think that's where we are. 2020 is the year of perfect vision. And, it's all about, we all need to look in the mirror, man. And the mirror is in play. Because, of course, when you look in a mirror, you don't actually see a true reflection. It's reversed. So where we see left to right, you're actually looking at it going right to left, which was the transition in 2012. But now the cycle has completed, so maybe something else is manifesting out of it. But we're about 30 days out of the election, and the big news from yesterday is that President Trump and his First Lady have contracted COVID. So, that's one thing that should unite all of us, is that we all wish President Trump well, that he recovers from coronavirus. Because honestly, if you're not wishing him well, then that means you're part of something else, because, any decent person would be hoping for him to get better. But the mirror is in play, and I'll throw out a date, January 21st, 2021. That's the day of the mirror. But the mirror once again reflects an image, and God created man in his image. So think about it. When God's looking at man, he's looking at his own image, a reflection. And that's one reason you find in the scriptures why God gets disheartened and upset with man is because man is supposed to reflect God, but sometimes when God's looking at man, that's not what he's seeing reflected. But the same principle applies for man, that when he's looking in the mirror, he should be seeing the image of God because he's made in the image of God, so his own reflection should be reflecting God to him, and that's why we should all be looking in the mirror, because if you're looking in the mirror and what you're seeing reflected back at you doesn't have God in it, then there's something wrong, man. And that's kind of what's in play with the mirror, the left to the right. On the left hand of God is the law, the 10 Commandments and the law made by man. Whereas on the right hand is righteousness, and it's what's in your heart, what you know is right, your conscience. And sometimes the two work together, and we're all left and right, but that's where there are forces at play that want to push us either to the left or to the right and divide us versus unite us. But I'm going to kind of wrap it because I don't want to make too long of a video. I'm going to kind of look at my notes and see if I can put up a second video to kind of complete some thoughts as far as what's going down in 2020 with 30 days to go. But, November 4th is critical. The elections are going to be critical. And, the left versus right, the Venus prophecy, it's all about the ninth judge, Amy Coney Barrett. And that's what's going to determine the balance of the Supreme Court for the next, 20 years or whatever. So the law and justice is all in play, and that's where the Venus prophecy comes into play, because, the book of Judges, that's where you get the tribe of Dan, and you get Samson and some other judges, and they all come on the scene right before there is a king in Israel. So that's a connection to what's going on today, man. And, time is a circle. The ninth judge, a circle is 9. And history repeats itself. And it also ties into the time of Jared and the time of Noah. What was going down before destruction came about. So I'll try and tie all that together and tie it into the Venus prophecy, which is in play in a major way. All right, hey, God bless you all, and hopefully I'll get another video up real quick.